Welcome to 3-4, Order of Operations. We're going to be finishing off our guessing game finally and getting this thing kind of wrapped up so it has a nice finish to it. So what we need to kind of work on is order of operations. In our last lesson, we learned how to use all the different options of operations, and now we're going to kind of review a little bit that order of operations. One thing that we probably a lot of us know is PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's one way of kind of thinking about this. I saw another one that in Europe, I think like UK specifically, they do one that's like BODMAS. Which is brackets, order, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, and then BIDMAS, which is brackets, indices, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, which seems a little weird, but it's important to know that multiplication and division happen from left to right at the same time. So it's not you go and look for all your multiplication first and then your division. No, you go and you find your multiplication and then you do your division and your division at the same time. So as you go left to right, whichever one you run into, you're going to do multiplication, then you're going to do division, then multiplication. Same thing applies to addition, subtraction. All right. So operations from scratch, we talked about this a little bit of kind of how, in the last lesson we did at least, about how each one is its kind of own set of parentheses. So this script computation right here, we have say, and we have on the kind of this top level, I like to think of this as a layered cake. I got 2 plus 6, and so this 2 plus 6, that's 8, divided by 2 is 4. And then over here, we got 2 plus 6 divided by 2, and so the 6 divided by 2 is happening first, so 6 divided by 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5. They look almost identical, except we got two very different answers. So I kind of like I said, I like to think of this as like layers on like a wedding cake or some kind of cake where it's kind of tiered up. All right, so we have a couple slides. I want you guys to go ahead and as I go through this, go ahead and stop and try them out and see what you can get. Make sure you kind of check out that PEMDAS and all that type of stuff. So go ahead and at this moment in time, go ahead and pause the video, try these out on Scratch, see what you can get, and make sure that you can get these to do it correctly. I'm going to move on though, so if you haven't already, pause this. All right, so welcome back. Hopefully you were able to pause those and get those things done. These are some of the commands that you should have gotten. You should have said say 5 plus, and then on top of that, 2 times 3. This would have given you 2 times 3 is 6, plus 5 is 11. This one, same deal. We have the 5 plus 2 happening first in parentheses, times 3. This one, a lot more complicated, but we have this 8 times 3 happening first. The hard part of this is realizing that this 7 plus 8 times 3 needs to happen next. And the reason why is because from left to right, that's what happens next. So we take care of the parentheses, but then we start going from left to right. This one, 6 plus 18, it's in parentheses, so you should know to put that on the very top. And then we have the modulus 4, so 24 divided by 4 is whatever, 6, and a remainder of 0, so this would actually return a 0 value. And then 27 mod 4, this would return a value of 3. Some more practice problems. So again, pause the video, check this out, see if you can do it on your own. Hopefully you pause this. If not, it's going to be really awkward because I'm going to say welcome back. So what we got going on here is we got the square root of 36. So say, and then that SQRT, which is under that ABS value. I have my other Scratch kind of loaded up right now, so I'm not going to bother. So say, then we do the square root of 36. You should have gotten 6. Sine, again, it's that little drop-down box. And we did 30, and you get 0.5. Round, that should round it down, so you should have gotten 36. And then length of hello world. This one, you definitely could have, if you just looked at this, you could have done length of and then just done hello world. And you actually, I believe, should have gotten, actually, no, you would have gotten 11 still. This join is just kind of an awkward, we wanted you to practice with the join. So, like I said, we're going to be finishing this guessing game thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some code so that when the sprite receives the final guess. Now, Sprite 1 isn't checking if the guess is the final guess yet. We're going to actually have Sprite 2 say, hey, I need to make a final guess. So Sprite 1 is going to check if the answer is correct. Otherwise, it's going to send out an error message. This is really common practice, is having what you desire to happen and then having a, oh no, something broke system in place. So saying, oh, well, actually, we didn't get the right answer here. So we're going to have an error message ability in this. So then in Sprite 2, we're going to modify the when I make guess to test for the end of the game. We're going to modify, we actually already did that in the last one. Modify the when I receive yes block to set a new low and broadcast make guess. Same with when I receive no. We again did that one already. And then add a new block of code for when I receive winter dance, and so that we can change its costume to the dance. Make sure you are providing comments as you go through this. I am not going to, because that gives too much away. All right. I think this is the end of the slides. Oh, nope. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and jump over to Scratch. You'll notice this is the same from the last time. So I'm actually going to mess with Sprite 2 for a little bit. The reason I'm going to do that is it just kind of makes things a little easier for me if I have that make final guess located in here. So I have this happening, and also by the way, if you didn't know this, if you right click, you can clean up blocks, and it like aligns everything super nice. Kind of handy sometimes. Sometimes it's not as handy as you would hope. I'm actually going to set these up here for right now. So when I receive make guess, I'm going to put into place my test condition in order to make sure that, hey, are we done guessing? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to control. You could, in theory, put this in an if-then statement. I'm not a huge fan of that. I like the idea of an if-then-else statement. It just kind of seems cleaner to me of it saying, no, it's not equal, and it's going to do this. It's probably also pretty good practice that then it doesn't, like if this doesn't end the game, it doesn't continue through if something gets changed. All right, I'm going to go to my operators. I'm going to go grab the equal sign. And now Sprite 2 doesn't know what the secret number is. So they have to have a way of testing, hey, is this done? And the way that they're going to test if this is done is going to see if the low number is equal to the high number. So I'm going to go to variables. I'm going to go, if low is equal to high, I'm going to say, and I'm going to need a join operator here, is your number, actually, you know what, I'm going to get another one, just so I can put a question mark, because that's me. Wait a minute. Okay, so one thing that we're going to want to do is take... And the reason that I'm doing this is I realize that guess needs to be done beforehand. It doesn't necessarily matter because we don't see this, but it is good to have for whenever we get to this part. So is your number, and then I'm going to make this a question mark, and I'm going to go grab a variable. And so I could do low, high, or guess now because I put the guess like this. I'm going to put guess. Why not? And I'm going to say that, and then it's going to end. So I'm going to go and grab control. Oops, no, not control. Events. And this isn't going to be winning. It's going to be final guess. Okay. All right, so we did this check. We're going to go to Sprite 1. And we're going to go when I receive final guess. I'm going to do an if then else again. If then else. If we want to check if our guess, because I changed, that's what they asked. They asked for the guess. You should use whatever value you put in here for what is being kind of finally asked. If guess is equal to the secret, we're going to say Yes. If it is not equal to the secret, then we did something wrong, so we're going to say no. There is an error. A little more wordy than you actually need, but it's kind of nice. Then, under events, we're going to broadcast winner dance. Cool. Now we're actually going to have both of them respond to winner dance. So we can actually go right here, winner receive winner dance. I'm going to change my looks by just going to next costume. And let's put it with a little wait, and 1 second is a long time, so let's do like 0.2 seconds and have that just repeat forever. Then right here, when I receive final guess, let's do that. Next costume, control, wait for 0.2 seconds, and do that forever. All right. See here, did I miss anything? Yep, did all that. All right, I think that should do it. All right, let's have it play. Guess the number between 1 and 10. Low is 1, your high is 10. Is greater than 5. Our secret number is 2, by the way, in case you can't see that. All right, low is 1, your high is 5. Is it greater than 3? No, it's not, because it's 2. Your low is 1, your high is 3. Is it greater than 2? No, it's not, because 2 is not greater than 2. Your low is 1, your high is 2. Is it greater than 1? Yes, because it's 2. Is your number 2? Yes. Woo! She does a lot of dance moves. Really dancey. All the scratch is pretty basic. Alright, so make sure that you put in comments for everything to kind of describe what's going on and why. Remember, there is no minimum necessary amount of comments, but it should be so that you can come back to this in 2 weeks and tell me exactly what's happening without having to go through all the code. Alright, hopefully all of this was helpful and you're able to make it work. Have a good one.